Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. I've got a good one for you today because everything is breaking all at once, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what products, what services, restaurants, cars, post office, everything's collapsing right now before our eyes. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and today we have a sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. There's so much to cover on this, but first thing, Ford. The car company Ford has seen nothing but recalls since 2020. Every single Ford vehicle has been under a recall except for the GT. Every single car. Now, it includes software, it includes braking, it includes gas lines, it includes the rear camera that had 1.7 million cars recalled. Guys, that's shocking. It's unbelievable. Now, here's the thing about Ford right now that's crazy is it doesn't matter, you know, what they do. They had 150 recalls last year alone. They've had, almost a dozen in 2026. This is insane. So why buy a Ford car? Now the articles are like, hey, when does the government step in? When do these guys have problems with the federal government? Yeah, what, 30 years ago? Come on, guys. It's just insanity. Backup cameras, fuel injector, fire risk, electrical failures, door latch defects where the doors will open up on the highways. Oh, I want one of those. Rosie's skimming the yard. We had a major windstorm, so we got some cleaning to do today, but Rosie's going to be a helper. So, but again, American manufacturing's off. We've talked about this. Tell me something that you bought recently that lasts longer than the old version. I can't think of a thing. That almost should have been the title of this. The software, you know, the thing about this is that when you spend 50, 75, $125,000 on a product, shouldn't it last? Shouldn't it be defect free? Rosie Girl thinks so. So, anyways, you guys, it gets to a point where everything is an absolute problem and nobody wants to admit it. The next thing are restaurants that we're seeing. San Diego, I've got a great article in it. It'll be the second article below, talking about how San Diego restaurants are having such a problem. There is an area called the Gas Lamp District that's really fun. It's close to SeaWorld. It's close to the Padres Stadium. It's close to the ocean. If you go to a conference down there, you go to the convention center, it's walking distance. But the Gas Lamp District saw itself get, destroyed, during COVID. And this was a place that they did a Giuliani on where they went back and what is the biggest problem downtown by the courthouse? Well, it's the fact that it's a loser festival and it's where people would, buy nefarious things and do bad stuff. And they cleaned it up really well to where restaurant after restaurant moved there. Every major retailer had a location there. You could just walk for blocks and shop. And I've been down there so many times. Well, now all these regulations that they're doing with San Diego restaurants are destroying it. And again, my favorite thing, fan favorite, beloved, local institution. They're all going out of business. It doesn't matter what you do or sell. And again, rent is out of control for restaurants. People don't realize this, how bad this is. And I'm going to finish this video with another story that Dr. Marvin sent me that wraps all this together. People cannot afford the insurance. People cannot afford employees. People cannot afford to pay taxes. My son has worked for multiple restaurants in Massachusetts that they don't have to pay a minimum wage. You get basically a pittance to work there, and then you get your tips. You better be a good server, or you don't make any money. And here in California, we have all these different rules and laws where you have to get minimum wage, and it's going up and up and up. So no matter how busy your restaurant is, paying somebody $23 an hour is insane. Now, you can sit there and say, Dan, you can't live on $23 an hour. You can't pay rent on $23 an hour. Rosie makes more than that too. So you get it? It's crazy, but it was never designed for this. So, you know, payroll taxes, everything, food inflation, beef, dairy, eggs, cooking oil. People don't think about this stuff you don't think about, the oil, the condiments, everything in that. If you notice when you go to a restaurant for to-go food, uh, there's one place I like in Carson, California, that's got arguably the best teriyaki. If I'm remotely close, I stop there, and I always remind everybody, ask for utensils, because they have a sign that says we don't give them out unless you ask for them. And I spoke to the owner once, and he says he saves tens of thousands of dollars a year by not throwing extra stuff in the bags. Tens of thousands of dollars. You know, the consumer's broken, and they're broke, and they're also not paying their bills on a regular basis. They're using things on credit. If you ask these restaurant owners, all the regulations that they have with city permitting, with trash cleanup, San Diego's got issues as far as um, recycling, how you maintain your trash, all this stuff, that they have to hire somebody separate to do this, which then drives a burger price to $20 a burger. So it's gotten out of control, but it's only going to get worse because the consumer has no money. Another major pizza plant chain went out of business, and it's the same thing, guys. It's the fact that it's beloved. It's a fan favorite. It is ridiculous. You've got all these different places. Dr. Marvin sent me this one as well. You know, chains cannot survive. You're seeing more and more pizza places that are going out of business. Pizza was the cheap thing. Let's go get kids pizza. But I'm going to end this video on something crazy. Let's talk about our sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Let's face it, guys, oil prices are rising, going through the roof right now. Recently seen $120 a barrel oil. The Iranian conflict, you can believe it's going to end soon, but it most likely won't. You need to protect your family. You need to protect yourself. You need to get yourself into gold and silver right now. The best place to do that is Noble Gold Investments. Contact them today, 877-646-5347. Let them answer all your questions. Straightforward talk from good people that have done nothing but help people for almost a decade. Contact Noble Gold Investments. Let's face it, you've got questions, they've got all the answers, and they can help you. This is a time right now that you don't want to play with your future. You want to go with a company that's going to help you and going to protect you. Contact Noble Gold Investments today, 877-646-5347. If you don't want to call them, use the link below, but let's get some answers to precious metals in your portfolio and protecting your family and your future. Now, think about this. Fiorella's Pizza in San Francisco. They filed for bankruptcy. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but in the last 12 months, 4 separate Chapter 11 bankruptcies. Now, you file Chapter 11 bankruptcy because it stalls everything, it puts everything on hold, but this place is done. It's down for the count. And you can sit there and say, oh, it's beloved. It's a fan favorite. No, they're bankrupt. They're done. Nobody can afford it. Nobody can afford the fact that my pool is going to eat us. But nobody can argue with the fact that people just don't have any extra cash right now. None at all. And they cannot afford to go out. And it's a problem. Laura from Connecticut sent me a great story about another fan favorite. When I was a kid, they used to have Carvel ice cream. Had a few locations here in Southern California. But you had, I forgot the guy's name. I want to say Dick Carvel, but I forgot his name. Anyways, hey, I'm Dick Carvel, whatever his name was. But he had this old gruff voice that I just envisioned a cigarette when he was making an ice cream cake. But that guy, hey, come to Carvel's. You like to celebrate? You want to get a good ice cream? Come to Carvel's. And I'll never forget, back then my mom was like, oh, they're so expensive. It's just so outrageous. Well, I don't know what they were. They were free back then compared to what they are now. But again, Carvel's closed another 3 locations in the Connecticut area to where there's only 11 now. So again, it's so expensive. And she says, who could afford to go there? It's outrageous. And that's funny. On my birthday last week, or 2 weeks ago, Buddy brought over an ice cream cake, which I thought was very cool. And again, people buy these franchises thinking that they're going to make themselves millions of dollars, and what they're doing is buying themselves a debt shop with, um, a job that is 24/7. People don't get how difficult it is to run one of these businesses. It's insane. It's absolutely nuts. So look at Rosie just hanging out at my feet. So think about it. You got businesses that survive 40 years, but the last 3 years is difficult. They can't afford it. There's a problem in the economy, guys. Everything's breaking. Now, I love this. The United States Postal Service has said that they're going to run out of money in the next 12 months, and they need a revamp. I'm making this prediction again. The United States Postal Service will get ran by Amazon. It's going to be privatized during the Trump presidency, and I think that you're going to get rid of the post office because they're losing money hand over fist. I know a guy I went to high school with. He retired from the post office and has a pension and lived a good life there, made a good wage, but that is over with, guys. It is over with. It's a job. So many postal workers write me and say things like, Dan, it's a terrible job. They do things like adding extra shifts. You have a 4 mile walk that's now going to be 5 miles. What's that do? My mail does not get delivered sometimes here until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Isn't that crazy? And I just don't even look at it until I walk Rosie at the end of in the evening. So that's a problem, and they're overworked and understaffed. One thing that happened 2 years ago was that the post office added Saturdays. Every other Saturday, you're going to work, and you're going to not get paid $1 more for this, which I didn't understand. I'm like, who can tell somebody to work an extra day and not pay them more for that? That happened. The delivery costs, fuel, labor, transportation. One thing that happened when I sent out the gifts last time, we had more theft this time of items. And I went to my local post office and filed a complaint with them where things were opened and people on their ends, but people are ripping off the mail at a record pace. These people are inefficient, and they're as bad as anything else. Now, again, check out the private channel, I Allegedly Live. You sign up at iallegedly.tv. It's all the uncensored stuff that we do. I love doing it. It's fantastic. Look at what's happening all at once. Ford cannot build cars. Ford cannot give a quality manufactured product here in the United States. Restaurants are closing. Mom and pop businesses are shutting down at a record pace. You've got civility gone. You see the videos of people yelling on airports and in restaurants, breaking stuff, throwing stuff. But the final story. Dr. Marvin sent me this one. Pizza Lovers Bistro in Broward County. The BSO, which is the Broward Sheriff Office, is looking for this family that went out to a pizza place over the weekend, and there were 6 of them eating pizza, and they skipped out in a $243 bill. Dad goes to the restroom, comes back, looks at the bill, tosses it down, and they dined and dashed. That is insane. Who would teach their kids this? Who would do this? It's awful. It's absolutely terrible. But to skip out on a $243 pizza bill, like Dr. Marvin wrote me, said, "Ken, what'd you eat at a pizza place for $243? How much beer, how much wine, how much shenanigans above and beyond pizzas did you eat?" Now, it was a pizza place, guys. It was not a restaurant. Don't get confused. 6 people, all that stuff. But a family did that, and they're looking for them. Videotape, local news, all that stuff for these people because it's done. It's dead. Like, subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great week. So much we're working on. But again, everything's breaking at once. And it's not just one thing. It's not just your community. It's around the country. It's everywhere. Stay safe. Save your pennies. Be well. And I'll see you very soon.